Because if I get stopped on the door wearing that shit and I've got to walk back on my own, nah, guys, it's not happening.
I think I went as a pimp at one point, but it was more of a, not really a pimp, but more like a playboy, like the smoking jacket, the pipe, and all the rest of that sort of jazz.
Yeah.
Anyways, is it pertinent to point out to you that we are live again? Should I just throw that out there and let you know that you're on camera to the world and anyone that's tuned in earlier? If anyone's rejoining us, again, blame him, because I was set and I was solid before he turned up and just started fucking with my shit. You know, he botched it, if you want to call it that, and he botched hard.
You fucked up.
He's going to be eating canvas for a while. But anyways, let's go back to the card. So for the sake of argument, let's just say that the people didn't pick up on the prediction. So RX Outside versus Jizz is the first battle on the card.
His name is not Jizz. It's definitely pronounced Giz.
It might be pronounced Giz, but you know, I'm having some fun here.
It definitely is pronounced Giz.
Look, what I'm saying with this one is because I've made enemies of one of these guys. I haven't really. I'm just fucking. But like, I might as well go after everybody on this card at this point and just save my.
I can't move name myself, Jizz.
I'm just saying, it's just one of those things, man. It made me laugh.
Fair enough. Yeah. So what did I say? I said that Giz.
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
So I said Giz has definitely got more experience, so it's going to be a difficult battle for RX. But at the same time, RX has got, I think he'll have something to prove to the fans, especially after the fan reaction to our battle was so heavily sided towards me. So I think he'll have a lot to prove. He'll go out there with a little bit of an extra thing on him to make him want to win. But at the same time, you can't underestimate Giz's experience. Giz has been in a lot of situations in his battle rap career that's going to serve him in very good stead for the battle. So I think it's a close one, but I'd probably edge it to Giz because of the experience.
Don't really have a dog in that one, but it's one of those ones where I understand that this is it's an opportunity for both of them to get some exposure on a card that everyone's really anticipating. So it's one of those ones where I'm gonna best I can tell, it's the kind of thing I'm going to be looking at and seeing, right, who rises to the occasion and really tries to steal the show on this one, as opposed to building towards something, because this is the card that sees out the year, really. So it's one of those opportunities to kind of start next year on the note that you finish on this card. So it's like, forget about everything. Like you said, like RX, for instance, he's got a point to prove after the last one. Who is he battling in the last one? Who is he featured against? Some guy, T, I think his name was, something like that. But yeah, like it's an interesting one because again, they both have something to prove, like you say. But moving on, then you have Lazy versus Slester.
Difficult one, that, because I'm more of a Lazy fan than I'm of a Slester fan, but then I probably watch more Lazy battles because he's been around for longer. Both are great, man. I think Slester's got the ability to be, he's funny, you know, he can write good punchlines, but I don't know, I think I'm more of a fan of Lazy's writing, and yeah, I think Lazy will probably take it, but I don't think there'll be much in it again. I don't think it'll be a body either way. I think it's just a good solid battle.
You were on camera all by yourself there for a second. I want you to know that you looked fabulous doing it, except for we're right here. Like, come to me, right here. We're right here. Look at him. He's hijacked my show, and he's not even looking at me. He's not even looking at you. He's disrespectful.
Right. Okay. From my perspective, I am staring at the back of your microphone.
Hi. But the camera's that, like, news anchors read a teleprompter.
Yeah, but I haven't got a teleprompter. We'll do it live.
For what it's worth, I think you're doing fine. I'm just saying that I'm why don't you look at me? Why don't you look at me anymore?
That was going in a very odd direction, and you switched it up very, very quickly.
Listen, man, I come from a generation that used to play gay chicken and think nothing of it, man. Okay, you need to come up here with me on this high perch. Okay, aren't you glad you joined now? Aren't you happy?
Yeah, man. I had nothing else to do, man. I had nothing else to do. I thought I'd come up here and give my opinions.
For me, I saw Lazy at the Plug 3, and he gave a really good outing against Raptor in that one. And that was really entertaining because the dichotomy of their sizes of frames, the pattern of speech, the sort of the precipitation element, because Lazy was clearly much hotter than Raptor. Raptor was bouncing across the stage like it was nothing, and poor Lazy was just getting cooked by the lights on the stage. It was easily 2 feet too small for him, God bless him. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that one because, again, I really enjoyed Lazy's style. And it's one of those ones.
He's got a lot of experience as well. Like people underestimate how long he's been battling. He's battled Yunnan, he's battled Quill, he's battled some good names. Like he's a formidable opponent, definitely.
I guess this one's kind of a contentious one because I saw the vote on this one is still early days, but the voting seems to be in on this one. Frost versus Crow. The fans seem to have spoken on this one already. I tend to reserve judgment on who's going to win, as opposed to who's going to give a great performance and why. But Frost versus Crow, where do you stand on this one?
Crow's very underrated, man. And I'm not just saying it because he's ABK and I'm ABK. I've someone who stood in the room and watched Crow. Crow's very, very good. I think Frost on his day is very good, but he's very inconsistent. So I think Crow will take it probably.
But why? Can you give us any insight as to why Crow will have the edge on this one based on, even if it's just like the showing this year or a particular battling question where, you know, the opponent was comparable to Frost or anything along those lines?
I think you have to pick Crow because I think if you pick Frost, you're only thinking about his best performances, but his best performances don't happen very often. He's very inconsistent. I think he'll admit that himself, how inconsistent he is. You know, whether he's not learning his material or he's writing late. He does those kind of things a lot. And when you're against someone like Crow, who he's able to prep, and he for this battle anyway, I know he's been super on it. So I don't see how you could logically go for anyone other than Crow in the battle based on their last years.
I think that could be an interesting one. Again, these first three have a lot to kind of live up to considering the next 3 or 4 battles, right? Because the next 3 or 4 battles have been kind of built up to a certain degree. So again, I wonder what they've both got, especially because again, they can see these votes, man. So it's not too late to. I know some guys get locked in the week before or the day before, but like there's still time to kind of go, right, fuck these fans. Like I'm gonna show them. Do you know what I mean? And bring it in.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see where they go from there. Georgie Roots versus Reverse. That's an interesting one. I like that one a lot. So where do we stand on that one?
It's a very interesting one. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know.
Got fucking Jamie Redknapp in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Who's gonna win? I don't know. What are you asking me for?
I don't know.
Okay, well, let's rephrase the question. Who do you think should be bringing the more exciting battle in this one? Who do you think is maybe coming into it stronger, or maybe stands to garner a little bit more from it? Obviously, Georgie Roots has been on it this year, based on what I've understood. Yeah. I've seen Reverse a couple of times. He's on a bit of a tear as well. You know, looking like Haaland never hurts. You know, in terms of momentum, I think Reverse has probably got more momentum because of, you know, he's a newcomer. He's sort of beat everyone he's faced. Or pretty much everyone he's faced. He's been on like a very solid path. And so is Georgie, but he's been in the scene longer, so I think people are more used to seeing Georgie. And maybe Reverse is a sort of newer fixture, so people are more excited to see him. So I think Reverse definitely has more momentum, but that doesn't really mean anything in the battle, especially because it's in Manchester. Neither of them are at home. So yeah, I don't know. I couldn't give you an answer. I don't know who's going to win. I've got no idea. Before we go into any of the other battles, give us some insight into that. How much of a bearing does it have when you're battling somewhere you've maybe just like the venue you've never been to before? So you travel and kind of get into the venue, trying to get settled and introducing yourself to some of the staff, that sort of thing. How does that affect going into an event?
The first time I did it, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the first time was okay. I think both times were okay in reality because I sort of know a lot of people who were at the venue anyway, so it wasn't too much of a big deal. But to be fair, I've only been to London so far, so I couldn't tell you what it's like to settle into a Manny venue. But London venues are usually fine. Like, yeah, it's usually okay. It might just be me, but they're usually fine.
Look, I can only speak for myself. I'm not a prolific traveler, and I know that when I get somewhere, I like to kind of scope it out a little bit so I understand, like, if I need to bounce or if I need to go get something. Like traveling to see Arsenal back in the day, I was lucky because I used to work in London, so it was like one of those things where I'd be like, it's okay. No, I know this pub, I know this bar. If you want to grab a drink, there's a Tesco Express right there, and they're not going to charge you out the arse. It makes the experience a little bit easier to manage, especially with the nerves, because again, you guys are kind of prepping to sell a show, and like, you know, just something as simple as, man, I could do with a fucking bottle of water. Where the fuck can I get one from? Like, those nerves must be like, because you're a human being ultimately. I get that you guys are, you know, gang-tastic, battle-tastic, awesome-tacular, you know, live performers and all the rest of that jazz, but you're still people at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just curious as to, like, I'm nervous about going to Manchester. I can't lie. I've never been to Manchester before. So, you know, I'm not really looking forward to my first mugging, and I'd like my car to be on all four tires when I get back to it, but you never know. So it's like, I'm only joking, Manchester. I really am.
You're not joking.
They've got two teams I hate in it. And Salford, they're not big enough for me to hate, but I feel like one day they'll be big enough for me to hate as an Arsenal fan. So we'll see.
You can't hate Man City as a football fan. You have to appreciate Man City.
I hate them so much.
That's terrible. They're a great team. Man United can go fuck themselves. But Man City, you're okay.
You can't. Sorry, I just want to digest that statement quick, and we will get back to the card in a second, ladies and gentlemen. You can't hate. I feel like Marlowe and Shuffler were scapegoats. You can't spell hate Manchester City without putting "you can't" in it. Okay.
Yeah.
What about all the corruption?
Yeah, but I guess, so do you hate Newcastle?
Yeah, kind of now. Yeah.
If
they'd been bought out by WWE, that would have been one thing. Having Undertaker ref matches would have been fucking insane. But the fact is, they were bought out by the PIF. The PIF,
Who sponsors Arsenal?
The proud Emirates, whatever they are.
Right.
They're a sponsor, not an owner, there, no? In fairness. We're owned by a money-grubbing, penny-pinching American. There's a difference.
Okay, so you're owned by B-Tech Donald Trump, right? And there's nothing wrong with that.
B-Tech Donald Trump. No, we're owned by Superman Returns Lex Luthor. You know, he's only rich because of his missus' family, basically. So
listen, your most prolific fans are only known for beating up women and talking shit about Arsene Wenger. We've got with these. You're talking about proper teams here, mate. Arsenal aren't a proper team.
Who do you support?
The best team in the country, bar Man City,
which is
Newcastle. 8-0 Sheffield. Playing PSG tonight. We're gonna win.
He supports Newcastle, and he wants to say they're the best team. Name a trophy you've won in the last 25 years.
Doesn't matter.
So wait, just to clarify, you've never been alive when they won anything.
It doesn't matter. We're going to win something in the next couple of years.
Fueled by the cleanest of blood money, I'm sure.
That's football, man.
Is it?
That's football.
This is a debate for another time, but I'm putting my foot in the ground now that Manchester, I'm sure, is a vibrant, energetic city with so many colourful characters and so much to do. However, as a southerner, filthy southerner, I am intimidated and I am scared, and there's nothing I can do. I've been training for a month solid just in preparation for my first mugging. I just want to be able to put my hands up and look good doing it.
Wow, you've got a lot of ops in Manchester, especially after your video the other day or yesterday. Jesus Christ. You're gonna get your
for clarity, and all joking aside, so this is my first event where I think anyone might kind of recognize me. I've had messages from Battle Rap fans. If you recognize me, please don't hurt me. That's all I'll ask. That's just you know, say hello. That's fine. Just don't hurt me. Anyways, let's get back to the card, shall we? Because again, we've kind of addressed sort of what we would consider the undercard. Now we're into the sort of the weeds of this, and where maybe some of. I mean, by the way, I know Frost and Crow has implications for the league itself, but like, in terms of, these are legacy battles. These are battles that are probably going to be revised in years to come. We've got next Bison Briggs versus Visual. Now, obviously, Visual is, for whatever it's worth, is now the PBI champion. Whether or not he intends to defend that belt and what that means for the battle. I mean, I know I want a belt. I want a belt, but you know.
I'm pretty sure it's up. I'm pretty sure it's for the belt as well.
All right, okay. In which case, who's walking away PBI champion?
Probably Visual. Probably. Depends if Briggsy takes it seriously, or Briggs has enough time, because like people say, he's organizing the event. He's got a lot of shit to do. He's a busy man, so I think Visual has the advantage for sure. I think it's a difficult battle.
Can you
Same time,
imagine
I've seen
doing that, by the way? Could you imagine turning up to a building and right, I got to run this thing, and then I got to remember all my lines, and I got to deliver them in a way that's palpable. Then I got to go back into promoter mode for final 2 battles of the day. Like, how could you? I don't know how I do that. I can stick to one role, not slip into multiple ones.
At the same time, it means a lot for the league. I think Briggs, as much people won't want to admit it, but Briggs will want to win this match so he doesn't have to sort the Irish shit out. He's just because that battle is going to cash converters immediately if Briggsy wins the battle.
It seems that
for sure.
It seems that young DubTee, he didn't choose violence today. He chose an assortment, a smorgasbord of violent tendencies, and just brought them all together and just started delicatessening on them. And it was me. It was me thinking I was going into this thing with the most beef. He's seen that and gone, hold my beer.
It's true. I think Visual probably beats him, but I don't know.
Well, the thing with Bison,
I don't know.
Or Briggsy, I always, whenever I start a sentence, I always start calling him Bison. No one calls him Bison; they call him Briggsy. No. So, anyways, Briggsy. Whenever I see him in battles, in his current iteration or his current, if DBZ fans, his current form, I'm always brought into mind of the fact that he is incredibly cognizant of the audience while he's performing, and less so on his opponent. And that's sometimes he gets into the stumble of things, because I think you've touched on this. When you practice, you're practicing by yourself or maybe with one person, right? And the focus is on that that one person or whatever it is you're focusing on. When you've got crowd participation to a certain degree, and someone's maybe throws something left-hand field that you weren't expecting, and it jars you out of your mindset, that must be hard. Because again, I mean, look, fucking check this stream out. Wasn't expecting Dub to come on, and I was thrown through a loop. Now, that's fine. It's reps, and it's great. But, like, imagine in real time in front of 50, 60, 70, 100, 200 people, plus your staff, plus whoever it is that you're battling. Like, I wonder what someone has to do mentally to kind of compensate for that to a large degree when you have to do it in real time. That's a weird one for me.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how he's going to do it, especially to the extent that he's got to do it at, which is why I think it's going to be difficult for him to perform at the top level. I think if he was just prepping material, then he had to go there and perform the material. It's a different game, but he's got a list of jobs, I'm fairly sure. So I think it's a difficult one. So I'll probably take Visual, to be fair.
Okay. Then we've got one where I'm kind of torn on this one, because, well, I'll just throw it out there anyway, because I think you'll be I think you'll have an opinion on this one. Koj versus Rivers. You might have an opinion. I don't know.
I might do. You say your opinion first.
No, it's my show. I get to pick. You go first. Ha! I'm pulling rank, bitches.
Rivers will be in. Rivers will be in.
Again, Jamie Redknapp in the house. Come on, give me some juice. Give me some meat on these bones. Give me some of this.
Rivers will be in. Because people underestimate how good Rivers is.
Right.
Rivers will be in, I think. And I'm not unbiased, but I think Rivers will be in. I think it'll be a good battle, though. I think it could easily be better than Koj and Gem. Easily. If Koj is at the level he claims he's at, then I think it would be a very good battle.
That's where I'm coming in on this one, by the way. Koj has been, and I hope he sees this, because y'all got to chill with your clowning, Koj, because you are a menace right now. Like, I get that there was one the other day where he said, he had bad news from the doctor or something, I forget, and everyone collectively took a gasp because that happened. So everyone's like, oh shit, is he really pulling out? And he's like, nah, I'm fine. And you go, right, chill, okay? You're funny as fuck, but chill. Anyways, but my point to that though is that he seems really zoned in on the gimmick of what he's trying to impose at the moment. He's really zoned in on his character. And I think that carries well when you go into an event, because so long as he maintains and so long as he keeps it going, that confidence is an interesting dichotomy, especially in what might end up being a more hardcore fan, more of a fan-based event. Because, again, compared to the Plug 3, for instance, that felt more casual. It felt more not concentrated, I guess is what I'm saying.
But if we look at it, as cynically as possible, it's not the first time we've seen Koji confident. Like Koji was confident against Bizzo, and what happened there?
That feels like a question.
Came in as confident as ever.
It felt like a question. He
anyone who's seen
for anyone that doesn't know, he choked.
Exactly. He came in very confidently. He did the face off and all that, and said about what he's going to do with the bout and all that, and then he went in the performance and got beat quite convincingly. So it's not always a case of just because you're confident it means you're going to smoke every battle. Like Rivers has been quietly confident, and I think I think Rivers will win.
Well, we'll see. I mean, obviously you have your allegiances, let's say, whereas I do not.
Well, yeah,
I'm a filthy casual, and therefore I can say whatever the hell I like and only be mugged.
But you also
Manchester.
think, but you also think Rivers is going to win.
So this is why I'm saying I'm in two minds, because again I think about it from just, again, a performance perspective, because I'm not a live performer, granted, but every time I do an interview or a show or whatever it is, and I think back on the fucking deficit of it and like from where it was to where I wanted it to be, like there's an interview I did recently, right? I've watched it back and I'm so disappointed with it in terms of, man, it just didn't come off in any way, shape or form how I wanted it to. What can I do? And you always want the next one to kind of make up for the last one. I feel like Koji's got a bit of that mentality at the moment, hence his social media presence being as rampant, and I mean that in the nicest possible way, as rampant as it is. So, I don't know. I feel like he might have an energy coming into this one.
But then again, he's got no reason to, has he, really? Because he's just beat Gemini. So it's not like he's got anything to prove. He's just beat probably the best in the UK. Full stop, probably the best in the UK.
All right. I like how I superseded him by making him go first, and he just slapped me in the face with, I know what I'm talking about, bitch. Listen to me when I'll tell you what's what. All right, well, I guess we can't beat around the bush anymore. It's actually, we come to the last one, which is the one that I probably have the most skin in the game for. I probably have the most insight into, barring the battle rap perspective. It's King of the UK versus King of the Jungle, Bizzo Bond versus Bobby Rex. So, obviously, I've seen the original, the Anarchy Tournament final, and we've seen everything that they've both done since. Keeping you awake, are we?
Yeah.
This is your debut. This is your debut on the live stream, man. And I feel like I need to, I need to go backstage and hit you with a chair, or like punt you, or something to really teach you. Like, this is the Halcyon show, right? This is where the real shit goes down. This is where not Premier shit, because I'd be jacking their fucking trademark, and I don't want to get sued by Briggsy. I imagine he is a good lawyer. But anyways, back to the point. Bobby Rex and Bizzo Bond.
It's just Bloodstro, man. That's Briggsy's lawyer.
Bloodstro's Briggsy's. It's all right. I'm okay with Bloodstro. He won't sue me that hard. He'd probably sue me for most of what I'm worth, but he'd leave me a little because he's a Liverpool fan. He's kind of like that. Nice. Come on, give it to me. Bizzo Bond versus Bobby Rex. What's going to happen? Who's going to win? And why? Give it to me.
Okay. So to analyze it, I think it's a harder battle this time for Bizzo, because Bizzo's material against Bobby the first time was very good and very original. So once you've already written once for someone, trying to pull that same level of originality out of your material and really be focused on the opponent, it's very difficult. It's obviously very difficult to be able to write two sets of material for the same person and both of them be the same level, or one of them be better than the other. It is difficult. So I think it's a very difficult battle for Bizzo. And I think Bobby's shown in his last few battles his sort of steady improvement. And I think it's such a difficult one because Bizzo's been such a dominant champion, but Bobby's had such a quite an impressive last few battles. So it's a difficult one. I might even go for the upset and say Bobby Rex.
That's a fair, and like I have to be honest, I've gone backwards and forwards on this because, like I say, when I interviewed Bizzo and he sold it to me as, like I say, Bobby's out to right a wrong in his mind, and you go like, next year, Briggsy is making waves about battlers going abroad and battling on the leagues, representing Premier Battles, and trying to really make this into more of a stable rather than a promotion. And you go, okay, who would relish that opportunity more? And that's a hard one because Bizzo Bond has kind of made it his point and made it his business to be like the ambassador, like the I'm trying to think. He's like the John Cena. Like, he carries the belt, he does it well. He doesn't really ruffle any feathers in so much as he doesn't really go after anybody. He welcomes everyone in. Bobby's a little bit different in the sense that he's maybe a bit more egocentric. Yeah. He's going for him, and he's like, no, I'm representing me and what I can do and all the rest of this sort of stuff. And therefore, like, what their motivations going into it.
Yeah, no, I see that argument. I think the only reason why I think Bobby might pull the upset is purely based on the fact that I think Bizzo's material the first time around for Bobby was better than Bobby's first material for Bizzo. So I think Bobby has, you know what I mean? Like, the angles that Bobby used against Bizzo then, you couldn't use against Bizzo now, because Bobby's angles against Bizzo was that he's boring and he can't perform and all that.
Opening salvo, which was the yawn and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't do that anymore. But everything Bizzo said to Bobby, you could still say to Bobby, not have been said back then. And I think that's why it's so much more difficult for Bizzo, because he's writing for an improved Bobby Rex, but it's still the same character. It's still the same. Like, people see Bobby Rex as the same. It's the same thing. Like, but I think people view Bizzo differently now. So Bobby's got more to work with, I think. I think, but then again, on the other hand, the reason why you could give it to Bizzo is because you think Bizzo's got more to do in battle rap. Like, Bobby's already done a lot. I mean, if you watch any of his battles, you know what he's done. He talks about it, you know, taking flights and going here and going there. Bizzo, as far as I can remember, has only done one international battle where he went and battled Real Deal in Vegas. And I don't think he wants to stop there. So I think it's a really interesting one. It's probably the most interesting battle it's definitely the most interesting battle on the card, for sure.
It's probably also the one where I'm the most biased, because even though I've spoken with Bobby and he seems like a really nice guy, I've got a lot invested in Bizzo's his sort of trajectory and his journey. I love it. I love how, you know, again, a lot of the angles when he was coming back and making this I guess this latest run, so many of them were like, Tony's is the one that sticks out to me because it was in a battle that was really entertaining and great and backwards and forwards. Is, I was there when you were shit. And you go, even Bizzo admits that he wasn't where he wanted to be when he started. And now he's where he thinks he's supposed to be going. And you go, right, he literally approaches every performance like, it's my last. I've got to give it my all. I've got to really kill it. I've got to really sell it. And he treats it like he does a lot of his personal life and a lot of that other stuff, in that he's disciplined and he never goes into the red line, so to speak, which other battlers don't. I think a lot of other battlers do have that obsessive streak and then they fall out of it a little bit or they burn out. It's a hard one, but I've got to edge it to Bizzo just because it's one of those ones where he's already said I can hold the belt. so yeah, I get to just go, go Bizzo. So anyways, I guess.
Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if Bizzo won. No, I wouldn't be surprised. It's a very good battle. For sure. That's just a treat if you just go and see that one, to be fair.
Well, how do you feel about the card in general? Like, as the last sort of sign off for Premier Battles for the year before the Plug 4? Like, how do you feel about it?
The Plug. I think originally you were meant to have. Who was originally meant to be on it? I can't remember. I think at one point Yunnan was meant to be on it, but that might be me remembering it wrong. I can't remember. It's a great card, man. It's a very good card, especially because it's an all UK card. It's probably one of the best all UK cards we've had in a very long time. Not even it definitely is. Like, you've got the top guys, barring Gemini and Quill,
who will probably end up making an appearance
on the card. So it's a great, yeah, of course, yeah. It's a dope card. It's a very good card. I think the battle that I'm looking forward to most, other than Bobby and Bizzo, is definitely Ko J Rivers, because yeah.
Because reasons, right? Because reasons.
Ko J, man. Yeah.
All right.
Reasons.
Cool.
It's because of Ko J I had to call out Shotty Horror, so I didn't have to look like a bitch.
All right. Well, I think that'll about for something that I said wasn't going to take all that long. We've been going for about half an hour, and we managed to cover the whole card. And I think we've adequately summed it up. Other than the fact that this is my second ever event, I'm dead looking forward to it. Going by myself though, so again, please don't hurt me if you recognise me. Just be nice.
Do you know what's mad as well? Do you know what's crazy? So after this event, you would have gone to the same amount of battle events as I have.
Mad because you're a battler. Is he still there? Have we lost him? I don't know. Is he still there?
No, I'm here. Hello.
Oh, he is. Okay, cool. So, yeah, what I said was, which is mad because you're a battler. That's madness.
Yeah.
That's what that
is. It's nuts. It's nuts.
All right.
Well, I only battled on events that they let me come to.
It's because he kills everyone. That's why. He smokes everybody. Yeah. He just absolutely smashes it out of the park every single time.
Facts.
So there you go. All right. Well, I think we've covered enough there to keep everyone happy. So I think, unless there's anything you want to plug before we sign off, and then probably have a conversation off camera, because that's probably what we'll do.
Has anyone said anything? Has anyone said anything in the comments?
No one said anything in the comments because I imagine everyone was like the first one, like, it'll just crash. So I think everyone's started off. So it's fine. Well, people will see this after the fact and they'll be like, those motherfuckers talking shit. That's fine. It's all good.
I was ready to rebuttal someone.
Well, this is the thing. So far, everyone's been nice. RXR side was nice when he popped into the chat for a few moments. So to me, when everyone's nice to me on camera, but it's when they get in person that they see how small I am, and they're like, "Oh, I can fuck with this dude."
Oh,
sweet.
yeah, everyone's nice to you, man.
So there we go. All right then. Well, I've been your host, Lorne Risley. This has also been my guest, DubTee. How cool's that? Someone joined me live on a whim. We didn't even fucking plan this shit. Imagine if I'd have posted. Do you know what I should have done?
You went so Chelsea.
I should have posted something to say, "Oh, I'm going to go live in like 20 minutes, half an hour," and I could have arranged this a lot better. So I apologize to everyone for the break in the original stream and the crash of it. It's all learning. I did promise a shiny new stream, and I've delivered 90% of it because it broke and crashed. This one, though, has been running seamlessly, I think you'll find. So that's good. So anyways, thanks very much for joining me. Thanks very much for DubTee as well. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you taking the time. So let's... I'm going to transition back to me now so I can sign off, so you'll see my happy little face. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you see me on Saturday, be sure to come and say hello, but I'm excited. You should be excited too. And I guess that'll do it. So this has been this episode of the Halcyon Show. Stay safe. Man, really wasn't expecting someone to be on. Threw me off my thing, but it was great, wasn't it? All right. See you soon. Peace.
Does this mean you can